Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to show you some new things. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. What we're going to do is we're going to make the wheel a little bit rounder. Part of my goal is to teach you principles and concepts. There's plenty of really good technicians out there. You watch them, but if you really ask, how do you actually do that? Why does it actually work? Most of them really don't know why. And we're going to talk about them. You're going to find out some things that are really interesting. I sat down a long time ago and I said, all right, how do I make everything work? And, yes sir. Okay.
I just want to check the mic.
Sure.
Is it on? Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Sorry.
I sat down and I said, okay, what makes everything work? And I did not want to have a list of like 200 different principles and concepts. And in all the years, I've been able to break it down now to 30. It makes everything work. And I've challenged anybody, if you can find a viable technique that I can't describe on how it works, I'd like to know what it is. I recently added some very simple ones. They were so simple I forgot about them. So again, we're trying to explain some things. And I'm going to have you do some little funny drills and things and see what you understand. May I borrow you for this? What I want you to do is go over here. Don't go as fast as you can. No, face this way. I just want you to run to the end of the mat and stop. Just normal run. Okay, now that felt comfortable? Turn around to your back. Now run backwards. That felt different, correct? Even though it was still running, okay? This may sound weird, but when you move, your body is actually connected. It's figuratively. I mean, your body doesn't disconnect. But if you look at the upper part of your body and the lower part of your body is a platform. You've got trains going east and west. What happens is when you ran backwards, the platform disconnected. That becomes important when you're doing your jiu-jitsu techniques or when somebody's punching you. I'll show you what I mean. Let me borrow you for this. Step over here. All right. Stand like this. Do exactly as I say. Take a step back and into a defensive stance. Good. Stay there. I'm going to push on you. Okay. Stay right here. Shoulders off balance. Take a step forward into a defensive stance. So why doesn't he move? Okay. Take a step back. Take a step back. Tap your front foot. Got stronger, right?
Yeah.
So, first question is, if you move back into a defensive stance, doesn't it seem reasonable that you're off balance backwards and can be attacked? Kind of interesting. So, if you have a choice of stepping back or stepping forward into a defensive stance puts you stronger. Stepping back puts you weaker. If you're about to take a punch to do a jiu-jitsu technique, you just do a rocking motion. It sets it reunites the upper and lower platforms of your body. That's one example of a principle. So, if I'm going to throw him a throw and I step back, and I try to throw him here, I may have a problem. That stepping forward makes me stronger to do whatever you want to do. If he throws a punch straight at me and I step back, that's what happens. If I rock, I'm stronger. So we're beginning, before we start doing things to other people, we want to make ourselves strong. How many times have you done any technique and you're the one falling all over the place? And it might be because you're new or whatever. It also might be because your position is off. I want you to practice any techniques in your Budoshin or whatever system you do. It doesn't matter what they are, but I want you to practice them for a couple of minutes with that in mind. Set yourself, get in a strong position, and practice your techniques. So get a partner and try that. This is just for a couple minutes. The first principle I'm going to talk about, you already all probably know from your first or second lesson, but I'm going to add something that you probably don't know. If I say to you, what are the 8 positions of Kazushi? Is there anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about? Forward, backward, right, left, forward, left, back, right, back, left, right? So what happens when I pull somebody forward? What do you naturally do? No. Can I borrow you? And we're not fighting or anything. We're just doing what comes natural. If I pull you, what do? You come forward. If I pull you to the side, you go this way. which is what randori is. Anybody in here have a lot of time to randori? Some guy that's punching and kicking at you in the street? No, you want to beat him and take him down. So I'm going to add a 9th position. Okay? And what it is an elliptical, that's okay. It's an elliptical circle. If I push, he pulls. If I pull, he pushes. That's because these are linear motions. If I push and he resists, I make an ellipse with him. So he grabs me and starts to push forward. There's your off balance there. If you ellipse him, you eliminate the other 8 positions. Does that make any sense? Forward, backward. We're going to talk about linear versus circular motions in a little while. But what happens is, on all these kazushis, you're essentially making, and there are some exceptions, but you're essentially making a linear motion. The counter for a linear motion is a circle. I want you to do any throws you'd like. If you're doing an osotogari, okay, here's the circle up into here. If you move it this way, resist me. Okay? But if I drop, now let's say the person's a lot bigger. I used to be 6'10". Did you know that? They put me in the dryer and I shrunk. So because of that, I had to learn better ways of kazushiing. So a lot of people just grab here because it's convenient. However, on the gis, there's a seam that runs up here. You can pull off balance. But some people are really big. So instead of grabbing here, I'm going to increase the leverage by grabbing here. Hi. The object is to off-balance your opponent, not necessarily look pretty how you're doing it. If this doesn't work, if I do this, or stand up straight. If I do this and he's standing up straight, he's not off balance. I can step in and go through the motions, but he's still off balance. It takes 2 things to throw a person: leverage and off balance. If you don't have both, he's not going to the ground, especially if he's bigger than you. So, alter your hand position, press against him. When he resists, ellipse it, go into a hip throw or into an osotogari, whatever you want to do. Are there any questions at all? Yes, sir.
Sensei, when you say ellipse, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Think of a circle. Everybody draw a circle. Now it's an egg. So what happens is you take the circle and you elongate it. It becomes an ellipse or an egg, if you want to call it that. So from the circle, from here, I'm going to ellipse, which is really your kazushi, let's say on a hip throw. But instead of pulling straight up, which is a linear motion against a linear motion, you put a circle to the linear motion. And it helps break some of the strength down. And I'll prove that in a few minutes with some little exercises we'll do. Any other questions? Any techniques, any Budo techniques, any techniques you'd like to do, take this opportunity to practice them, but use the principles. This whole lesson is on principles and concepts of Jiu-Jitsu applied to your techniques. Find a partner and try it. I'm using nothing but principles and then using techniques to illustrate principles. Let me borrow you again, please. What's your name? Paul. Okay. We're going to pull them off balance. Now grab a hold. Stand straight here. Face me this way. Okay. When you pull them off balance, see what happens? Just ran into some resistance. And then what we do is we work harder. I want you to think, remember when you were a little kid and you went on one of those roller coasters that did this? You tried not to throw up? Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to bring the roller coaster up. Hi. Just ride the roller coaster. This doesn't see all the slack. It's a waste of motion. That's a little better. Over the roller coaster. Let me show you something else. Put your right foot forward. Bend your knees. In a good stance. Bend your knees. Resist. I'm at a severe disadvantage being down here. He's in a good stance. But what's happening is I'm effectively using kazushi to break him down. Now, I'm going to take him, go, resist me. Nothing happens. But if I press here, he goes down. If you want to throw an opponent to the ground and they don't want to go to the ground, you need to kazushi them properly. Try catching under here, ride the roller coaster. Get them up. I'm going to introduce you to a new principle now called buoyancy. We'll talk about buoyancy more in a moment. He's buoyant. It's impossible for him to get the air out of his body. I'll show you about that in a little bit too. Because he's got air in his body, he's buoyant. Make your opponent buoyant and throw him some kind of osotogari or variation of it. Try that. Roller coaster. Don't go straight. That's two linear motions. They cancel each other out. Kazushi is a viable term to use, but what we're going to do is we're going to break his vertical plane. There's a reason why I'm using this terminology. He's vertical, so anything I do in here where he's standing up, nothing's really going to happen. Break his vertical plane. Okay? Now I wasn't actually trying to trip him, but what happened is when you break the vertical plane, you put the weight onto this foot. Knees okay? This one? Okay. So he can hop around all he likes because this is the one I want to take out. So all I want him to do is not be able to move much of the foot that I'm going to take out. One way is to do this. Step into a right roundhouse punch. Just by breaking the vertical plane. I happen, from a street standpoint, I happen to like this into here because I can get good leverage on the takedown. Look to a little spot here. Okay, so he steps in. Okay.
How did you have your right hand, Sensei? I can't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's right in here.
Oh, okay.
It's right inside here. Now, I mean, I can do all kinds of terrible things to him. If I'm sweet and lovable and wouldn't do that. Step inside here. You can take him down. So let's try breaking his vertical plane. You'll roundhouse punch or whatever. You go in here. Now, does it really make sense if somebody's throwing a roundhouse kick or a punch to you to block it at the apex of where all the power is? If he throws a right roundhouse, that's where all the power is. But the source of the power is right here. So, let's go ahead. That's like falling into a brick wall, right? I want you to watch what I'm about to do with my left hand. Don't do anything yet. Drop it and turn it. Tell them if there's a difference in the block. Go ahead. You would think? Go ahead.
Yep.
You would think I was a lot bigger, right?
Feels it.
Would that stop you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, no wind up, no increased power. It was good position. Just leave your hand out. He'll tell you, it stings. It comes this way and turns. The angle here, just like this, will help kazushi him along with breaking the vertical plane on a roundhouse punch. Very lightly, and I'll block lightly. Yeah. See how his body's starting to list a little bit? Now, on osotogari, people step this way. As they go into step, just pick this foot up and step out of it. He can do that because he can do that. Throw right around, step in, good. I'm turning my foot. The left foot. Now pick your foot up. See how the angle changed? So, this is more than just breaking the vertical plane. I'm stepping at a 45-degree angle into here, which is even more weight going onto the supporting foot that I'm taking out of. What I want you to do is first do your throw, regular way, kumikata, which is a grabbing, with your off balance on the vertical plane here rather than grabbing the gi. Then try it from a right roundhouse punch into here, get the position, off balance into here. And then practice, make sure that when you're here, before you throw him, if your foot's pointing straight, turn it, draw him in. He'll already tell you his weight's moving more and more onto his right foot. Can you pick your right foot up?
Nope.
That's what I like to hear. Get a partner and try that. Again, we're not interested in how fast you do this. I'm interested in you understanding what's happening and being able to apply it to your various techniques. Okay. Let's talk about cousins. Okay? There are two cousins. There's circular versus linear, and there's 90 degree versus 45 degree. And it's important that you understand the relationship of those cousins. Otherwise, you're going to run into resistance. So I'm going to explain it by having you demonstrate. Let's see, may I borrow you two gentlemen? Here's what I want you to do. I'm just going to go into position, show you what it looks like, and I'll show you what I want you to do. Go ahead and bend over. Let's go over this way a little bit. Okay, bend over. You're going to take his hand, put it on your shoulder, your right shoulder like this. He's going to resist, and you're going to push him straight down. Okay, but he's going to resist. So bend over. You're going to try to strike him straight down. I don't want you to jerk it. I just want force against force. Ready, go. Take him down. Okay, having some trouble, right? The reason he's having trouble is because they're two 90-degree angles. Here's what I want you to do this time. Bend over. Put his hand on your shoulder, same thing. But instead of going this way, I want you to attack this way, that way. That's a little inclination what's about to happen. Go into position. First, try to pull straight down and keep the same resistance. Now, I want you to point toward me and attack at this angle. No, not across. Down and toward me. Right here. There you go. Put the same resistance. Pull straight down. Now change the angle to here. Okay. So you're able, one way, and I picked two people, one that was bigger than the other. You weren't able to move them very well from here, yet when you're at 45-degree angles, it works. That's really important. Okay. Let's go ahead and have a seat over there. Does everybody kind of understand that concept? If you try to do something and you're meeting resistance, one thing you need to do is look at the angles. If you got two right angles, they're always going to be strong. And you need to attack it at 45 degrees. I'm going to introduce something to you that goes against what most people teach. But I'm going to explain where the violation is in the physics of it. Have you ever heard that you're the center of the circle and you always move over here? What happens when the person on the outside moves faster than the person on the inside?
You get dizzy.
Right. But do you beat them? Not necessarily. I'm running, they're running. So how do we change that? And what I'm submitting to you, it's not that you're the center of the circle. It's the fulcrum is the center of the circle. And the fulcrum can change. We do it all the time in our techniques, but we don't think about it. I'll give you an example. Let me borrow you for this one. We're not going to go fast or any of this kind of stuff over here. Again, it's just more of the concept. And there are many, that's okay, just put your right foot forward a little bit. There's many ways of going into this technique into here, and you take him into here, right? Okay. Even if he runs that way, I'm going to go down in this way, just like we did. Start to run around me. Go. What happened?
I tripped.
Okay. I didn't think I tripped you, but... All right. I'm going to do it the way most people do it. Run, go. Go, 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 go. Quicker, 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 quicker. Quicker, quicker, quicker. Faster, faster, faster. Run out, outrun me. Go, 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 go. I don't want you to go down. I'm trying to get you to outrun me. I'm going to let you do it. Go, 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 go. Okay. Has that happened to you? Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm tired. It's a long day. I'm just going to point that way. Ready? Go. Point. I changed the fulcrum from here to here. 90 degrees. Resist. Just lift up. We already saw what happens when we go 45. When I change into here, he dropped like a sack of potatoes. I'm not interested in how many times a guy can run around my body. What I am interested in is efficiently putting him on the ground so I can control him there to do whatever I want to do. So I'm into here. Watch the circle. One circle, two circles. It's a circle within a circle, or an intertwining circle. Throw a straight punch. Fulcrum is changing from here to here. Question is has he figured that out? Move into many other different things. Well, I'm going to show you even more from this. But right now, I want you to better control your opponent to the ground. So change the fulcrum, go from here to here. I want you to point. So point, No, no. Point, yes. Okay? Get your partner and try it. Work on height a little bit too. You can adjust by working the arm around, which will drop the torso down. As I try to do this. This technique doesn't work very well if this part of the body is higher than this part. But how do you get them down when they're bigger than you? Of course, I'm a lot bigger than him, but if I weren't. As you go into it, take a slight step back. Now they get shorter. I'm a specialist at making people shorter. Makes me feel better. So, there's the fulcrum changing. So, here's the thing, especially if the person is bigger than you. We'll make believe he is. Okay, you need that extra space to do this. Now, as I'm circling, this hand is going to start pressing here. So when I come over the top, I've already got him. So practice making that adjustment if the guy has longer arms than you. Try it. My goal is to introduce you to principles. Like anything else, when your sensei shows you a technique, you don't do it once and say, okay, now I got it. You go back and you practice it over and over and over again in your dojo so that you can do it properly. So I'm giving you some tools. These are like the tools in your garage, but you need to practice with them and work with them and work with them at various stages of your techniques. We're going to do a little experiment here. Just borrow you again. This works on a new principle. No, just stand this way. Okay, I want you to point your toes straight ahead. Bend your knees. Put your hands on your chest. One hand, just like that. Just comfortable. Relax, relax. I'm not going to beat you up. Not yet. I want you to breathe every ounce of air out of your body. Good. Now, all I want you to do is just turn your hand over. Just like that. Get every ounce of air out of your body. That's called a buoyant hand position. The reason I can move him with 2 fingers is because it's impossible for him to get all the air out of his body. Try. Nod when you're ready. Now, toes this way. Get all the air out of your body and tell me when you're ready. Don't move your hand. Take your toes, point them 1 inch out. Get every ounce of air out of your body. That's called a buoyant foot position. Now, point your toes straight ahead. Get every ounce of air out of your body. Now, point your toes 1 inch out. Get every ounce of air out of your body. Buoyant foot position. Okay, so the reason buoyancy works is because you're buoyant, you can't get the air out of your system. So what's that got to do with Jiu-Jitsu? Have we all seen this technique? See the position of his hands? Get the air out of your body. Now, if I were to ask you, why does that work? You'd probably say, because it hurts, right? Oh. Just face me. Get all the air out of your body. Settle. Get all the air out of your body. Got your knees bent? This creates a buoyant hand position. I'm making him get air in his body. If I just turn his hand over, get the air out of your body. He's still buoyant. He's still able for me to do all kinds of things. Let that one sink in for a second. Works on the principle of buoyancy. If I turn his hand, and think of techniques that you use in hand darts and throws and many other things that involves getting the hand in that position. Get all the air out of your body. It just doesn't, right? I want you to practice this little thing I showed you. As long as the feet are parallel and the hand is here. Let's move you this way a little bit. You're strong. Keep the same pressure. Now point your toes 1 inch out. Play with it so you understand a little bit about buoyancy. Then we'll start using it in some techniques. Principle of buoyancy. Like taking a ball and throwing it on the pool water, it kind of floats and bounces. On some entries to common Jiu-Jitsu holds that we use. May I borrow you for this one? Cross wrist grab. Yeah. Okay. So we have techniques where we go into here, right? Where you get that resistance. What we're going to do is bring the hand up to his forehead. Watch. Don't bring it here. See how it stopped? That's because the two linear motions just ran into each other. Come over the top. Once you get that, try a double tap. Here, and then the second one. Okay. Back of your hand. Look at his hand position. There's your buoyant hand position. Okay. Circle. Circle versus linear. We talked about the cousins. I'm not putting enough circle to create movement. That's why he's not going anywhere. I need to put enough of a circle to his linear motion. Here's a position most people are afraid to forget about. Down. When somebody grabs you, what they're really doing is pushing down. That's why if you go in that direction, they're helping you out. From here, I want you to stop. Don't go. I know there's other things you can do. We're going to go into them in a few moments. But just get into that position from here. Get an extension. Yes, ma'am?
Aren't you also in a buoyant hand position when you do that?
I am, but I'm also changing my body position as I'm doing it. I'm still making him suck in air. You'll see, I got some other nasty stuff we'll be doing in a few moments. Try it. Okay, we're going to change positions with me here. A little spot. Okay, you're going to come up into here. Now, he can hit you with this hand. So what I'm going to do is not only get him off balance backwards, but tack him here. And then head in that same direction. So, there's our 45 versus 90 degree angle. There's our changing of the fulcrums. Here's our dropping of center of gravity. We use the buoyancy. They're all individual principles used in Jiu-Jitsu of the 30. All right, let's take that again. Put you over here. We're going to go slow. So, remember, people forget about the down position. Okay, so you're putting a circle to the linear motion. You're making him buoyant. You're making him suck in air. So he's buoyant. You can punch him if he's ugly. So I'm dropping onto him. I'm going to then, instead of taking him down, I'm going to push his elbow toward his head. So his body turns. He's going opposite direction that his punch is coming. He's punching from back. He doesn't really have any power. As I come down, I'm bringing this, higher than this, changing the fulcrum here and dropping him. Let's say he's still not down. Just keep adding that motion until you put him where you want him. Any questions on that set of principles and techniques? Try it. To quote the infomercials, but wait, there's more. So, cross wrist. We're going to come into here. But what happens is, lifting, put a little bit of resistance. I'm having trouble lifting my arm up. So what I'm going to do is lead with my elbow. So, if I can circle the hand up, great. If I get stuck here, lead with the elbow. Then collapse it into here. So let's take that real slowly and see what we're doing. So we go into here. I meet some resistance. I'm changing. I have feet. Move them. Bam! Changed his body position. Question is, does he know that? People don't know what you're doing to him. Otherwise, they would change the body position or the grab, right? But they don't. So you take that as an advantage. Then from here, move it toward the head. I'm controlling that side of his body if he tries to hit me with his left. And we have this. All right, so essentially you're going to bring it up about halfway. Lead with your elbow into the center of the chest. Move the hand to the head, making him buoyant again. Then take him down. We're over. Any questions? This is just an add-on to the same technique, but different principles apply. We're going to take it. This is completely different, but stay right here. In a moment, you're going to step in with your right and throw a straight punch. Move over this way a little bit. Okay, throws a straight punch in. You use the back of your hand into here. Okay? What happens is you're putting a circular to a linear motion. So, as the punch comes, I use the back of the hand Now, I'm going to show you a little trick. Watch. See where I am? Watch me very carefully. Don't do it yet. Watch me in relationship to what he's doing. I'm going to do what most people do. Okay? Now, watch the very end. Actually, watch what I do as his punch is coming out. So watch me, even though he's moving. Go ahead. Watch again. I'm here. I'm no longer in the same spot. Here's the same spot. Right? Do it again. Professor Kirby mentioned on a technique a little while ago about moving an inch when he was talking about the gun, made big differences in the angles of things. Same thing applies on a punch too. It's not a bullet, it's a fist. So I'm into here. If I just take that little step, I already know the trajectory of him is going to be up. That was a bad one on my part. That came from the outside. And then we also have the inside. What I did is I met the resistance, so I just stepped so I can get that circle. That's where you need to adjust sometimes. Yes?
Would you, your fingers were in a very defined position when you did that. It was reminding me of this. Would you go into that a little more?
Sure. I'm doing everything I can to maximize the circle. Watch my left hand, watch the radius bone. Look what happens when I just made that little adjustment. So I'm pushing on it, I'm turning my hand. The reason is the same reason. You get two linear motions. This is a circle. This is a circle. Little tiny circles make a big difference. Slightly different technique. Now, you can take them around and spin them until you're dizzy and take them back, right? They use that in Aikido a lot. Or catch the mastoid, take them down. Along with that, we're going to add one other principle. You okay? Step over this way. Turn this way. Oh, that's right. 180 degrees. And that is dropping our center of gravity. I can push, or I can drop. You never want to be straight. One, I've been doing this almost 54 years. I'm only 20. That's pretty good, right? But in 54 years, I've saved my knees because I don't walk around with my knees locked. Sooner or later, you will drop or somebody will fall on your knees. First, get your knees bent. It's a reminder. Sometimes when you're in a defensive position, bend. To remind yourself, always drop your center of gravity. I can't think of any. Can you think of any technique, Professor Kirby, that you would literally keep your legs straight while you're fighting? No. You always want to bend them. It's for your own protection. It's for better technique on your opponent. Drop that center. When you come in here, boom, your technique will work. So, straight in punch, right hand deflects with the back of the hand. His head is coming forward. I can catch him here. I can come through here. Change position. So, open him up here. I can break his arm if I want to. Stick my chest out. Make it even more efficient. Change my foot position. Change my foot position if I want to save my Twinkies. You know what Twinkies are, don't you? That's the Latin for your groin. Well, you can come around here and drop your anchor. The elbow dropping is called an anchor. Why your anchor is important. Can we borrow you? And can we borrow you? Step right here. Come behind her. And just get ready to apply a bar arm choke, but don't actually choke her. So put your arm around here. Okay? Now, what would you do to stop him? Yeah, but he's not choking you. Yeah, if you did, it'd be so difficult, right? Here's what I want you to do. This is a change, face them. Okay, so it works on an anchor principle. You're going to catch where the elbow is. You're going to also catch at the wrist. I want you to drop your elbows, drop your center of gravity. No matter what he does, I do not want you to lift your elbows up.
Hi.
Okay, choke her. Are you being choked?
No, I'm not, actually.
You trying to choke her?
Hi.
Are you being choked?
No, I'm not.
Thank you. That's an anchor principle. Thank you. One is applied by anchoring the arm to take him down. The anchor is also designed to keep that from happening. Come over here again. Get her in a bear hug from the rear. And just lift her up and let them lift you up. Good, put her down. Now, take your, are you right-handed?
Yes.
Take your right foot, go between his legs, and come behind his foot.
As he does it?
No, just do that for starters. Bend your knees. Keep it tight there. You're a tree, and you're rooted to him. Now lift her up. Okay, so one principle, several different applications, but the principle is a principle. Anatomical physics is anatomical physics. As long as you're on this planet and gravity is the same, these techniques work in multiple situations. You just have to have the forethought to think about them as you're applying your techniques. I want you to practice some of the ones I showed you, and then if you can think of some other techniques that anchoring would be advantageous to you on your Budoshin or other techniques, do so. Try it. But understand how you can use these anchors, how you can use these circles versus linear motions. A lot of you are pushing with the back of your hand. Turn your hand this way. It changes the angle of your hand. It'll put more of a circle to the linear motion. Try that and just circle it, palm up. And other techniques that you might have that have that kind of motion in it. What this is called anatomical misalignment. You have your body that's lined up. We consciously misalign the body. I'm going to show you some things. There's a technique. I get students, mostly female, that they all flunk out on one particular technique in the LAPD Academy. And I'm going to show you which one it is. Let me borrow YouTube. Okay, I want you to get on your hands and knees like this. Yeah, all the way down. No, you stand up. You're going to be the cowboy. Move over to this back here. Okay, I want you to get on his back and try to drop him down. Go over him and try to get him down under his stomach. Go.
So I'm gonna.
Whatever. You don't let him.
I would just do something like.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Now go over, straddle him. Let's move on to this line here for a second. Move over this way. Okay, just straddle him. Step over him. Take your right hand and bring it over the side of his head. Bring this arm over the side.
So.
Get your elbow into here.
Okay.
Now, just lean your body on there and just push on his head and drop him. That easier? Mm-hmm. Okay, don't let him drop you. Push his head. Push his head. And drop him. Lean your body weight into him.
It's awkward.
Okay. What you want to do, bend it off for a second. Okay, when you come into the person, move their head. Once the spine is out of alignment, body loses structural integrity. As long as the spine is in alignment, it's strong. Stand up for a second. I've taught many, many police officers. Stand up straight. I want to get him down, but he won't go. Misalign the spine. Down he goes. Pull the head out of alignment. Throw a straight punch at me. Misalign the spine. Misalign the spine. Misalign the spine. Misalign the spine. As long as his spine remains straight, he's strong. When the spine becomes misaligned, remember I threw out a term earlier called upsetting his vertical plane? I'm upsetting the spine. So I want you to work on some techniques similar to what I just showed you, but move the head out of alignment, then apply pressure, and the body structure will fall apart. Try it. Whether you're on the ground or standing. Does everybody in here know how to choke or been choked? Everybody comfortable with that? Okay, let's see. May I borrow you for this one? I call this a modified dragon choke. Straight push or whatever.
Straight push.
Yeah. So I'm inside here. I'm going to take him down. Go down. Go down. Pull up. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to actually pull this foot in, bring your heel in, bring your back foot in, and just curtsy. You feel it? Take a step out, got a bar. Take your foot out, got a secondary bar. So, one more time on the approach. You guys reaching for you or punching you or something. Pull up on the guy when he goes down. Bam! bam, hit him in the head. What it's doing is offsetting his spine a little bit. That sounds familiar. Moving his head in, putting his head into an optimal position for what I'm about to do. Circle this heel underneath. From here, I'm going to take a little step. So there's a little movement so I can move my right foot down. Keep pressure here. Step 180 degrees. And you got him down. Drop. Break. Hammer to the temple if you'd like. Any questions? I call it a modified dragon choke. Yes, sir.
Sensei, when you're putting your heel into his head, where's that heel? Into his ear? Below the ear? Where?
No. Go ahead and lay down here. It's okay. I'm okay. Turn this way. Move over this way. Step over this way. Turn 180 degrees. There you go. Okay, this one is just a boot to the back of the head. Because I'm mean. Okay, this one here, I track this arm because the angle is what I want.
Temple. Got it.
I'm not really on this temple. I'm actually going for the carotid. And what I'm doing is I'm relaxed. Your shin back here presses this, which presses into the carotid. We're getting close on time, so try that very quickly because I got a couple more things before we finish here. It's called a modified dragon choke. I want to show you a few advanced things. May I borrow you for this one? Let's see, this will be fun. He's going to throw a straight punch. You're going to use your heel to drop him to his knee into here. You're going to catch, actually turn 180 degrees. Okay, you drop him down into here. You're going to catch behind his collar. You're going to catch into here. So I move his head. I'm going to pull him. I'm going to get into defensive stance so he doesn't hit me in the Twinkies. I'm going to pull him toward me and squeeze. Watch again. Good. So, you okay?
Yeah, straight.
Yeah. You having some trouble? Just circle him. There's that ellipse. See how I'm losing my balance? Because I violated my rule. Okay?
Grabbing the collar.
Back here. Thumb inside. Thumb inside. I'm against his windpipe and just boop. Try it.
And there's nothing he can't get out of it.
Well, before or after he falls asleep. I mean, he can try. I mean, see how long it takes for you for the effect.
No, it's on.
Yeah.
And you don't have your balance.
Yeah, but
If he were to come up and do this with
Force.
being straight up and down and come to me and do this, I have my balance, and I may have a few seconds before the choke gets applied to try something, but he's pulling me into him as he's doing it, and because I'm off balance, I don't have the stability to do something.
and you're
I'm
out.
too busy trying to recover, and then I'm out before I recover. Or at least I'm tapping before I go out, before I recover. Did you see him pull me into him as he did this?
You can do it to me, Sensei.
Sure.
You know what is going on here?
Okay. Let's put you over this way. Remember I said that there's nothing, that's not straight punch, there's nothing wrong with changing your opponent's body position. Okay, it's into here. Got him here, got him here. So you're just trying to keep your balance, right? Tap. Okay. Try it.
I got it now.
Saying you don't have the balance because he's pulling. It's a pushing.
All right, so everybody's going to remember all of these principles and concepts, right?
Yes, sir.
How are you going to do that?
Practice.
We have video.
Well, that's one way. Or I can give you a booklet that has all 30 principles and concepts in them written up. Thank you very much for having me. Tell your friends so next year we can double these numbers. Thank you very much. I have an interesting question. Does anybody have trouble with a particular technique?
Yeah, that's a good way.
So y'all doing perfect?
All perfect and all technical.
Seriously, it doesn't matter what rank you are. When instructors have been around long enough and you explain to students over and over and over again what it is, usually there's about 6 different things that everybody did wrong, is wrong. And we repeat it in 100 different ways. Yes?
Sensei, my question is, before when you were doing, so I set it up and the circle and then you redirect at 45.
Right.
How do you get so easily, how do you get your hand to get his hand?
There are a number of ways of doing it. People tend to block on a straight basis, and that's where your strength is. So I create height, I create position. I'm actually putting your hand in a position that's optimal for what I'm trying to do. Here, I've got you here. I've got you here. If I want to go toward your face, I simply block. Nobody says I have to block in a straight line. There's an old principle, make a fist, put it out straight, like this. Puts full strength in it. Good, full strength. Once it crosses over the center line of your body, it loses strength. So, if you block a punch into here, it's still strong. If I block a punch into here, besides the fact that your head came in to greet my fist, your body doesn't have the strength anymore that it had. Right. So, blocking can put you in a position that's advantageous to me. You just have to know what you want to do. Okay, it's right into here. Should I drop my hand? There's a hook. Or grab me in a cross wrist grab. I could do that to you if I want to, but see how you're locked in? Even though it doesn't look like much. I'll show you one other thing. On the step over here, Sankyo, or right angle hold. Do most of you do it this way? Anybody do it differently than this? Y'all do it the same? Make a fist. How do you make that work? Any?
Your hand up higher.
Bad boy. When I tap it, it has what's called the basic rule of resistance. He's doing this. He doesn't know which way to go. So he turns into it. He punches straight at me. You've seen the Aikido technique. Make a fist. Does everybody know how to do this one? No. Anybody not know how to do it?
I don't know how to do that one.
Okay. Who doesn't know how to? Okay. Make a fist. I want you to drop them. See what you can do.
What you just did?
Well, well, that was actually pretty good. Without,
I was just did what you
no, you'd learn. See it without hitting it, though. See if you can drop them this way. Make it tight. No, don't hit it. Don't hit it. Okay. I've given you the tools to make this work today. See if you know what they are. Okay, I'll make it simple for you. This is a linear motion. What's the counter for a linear motion?
Circle.
Okay, I always act like someone's giving me the finger. Big finger sticking up. You're going to go above it and point it back into him. There's a circle going on, and it's small. Do you guys have a technique that looks like this where you break it? Okay. Who's good at this one? Does it pretty well? Nobody?
Wants to kick my ass.
Oh, why don't you apply it on him. But I want him to put some resistance to it.
Let's move a little bit, we're starting to push back.
Okay, let's move over this way. Okay. So he goes in. Okay. I actually turn it without the bend in it. Now put some resistance in it.
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to make it work on him.
Well, I wouldn't do it like this.
But what if you had to? Can you make it work on him?
I would have to, at this point, I have to do something other than this. Because, of course, this would never work.
Okay. Let me see something. Full strength. Let me know when you have it.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe it's my height.
Well, no, that's why I turned him.
Full strength.
No, that's why I turned him. I thought you wanted me to try to just keep
No.
pressing down. Well, that's never going to work.
What I'm trying to show you is there's a little tiny circle happening.
Right. No, I understand. That's how I got
Yeah.
him down when I did it.
I didn't go out into here, but see, it's working, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm learning.
Right. Now, let's say I don't want to use my thumbs. I'm going to move my body around his hand rather than pushing on the hand. Full strength. Got it?
Sure.
Comfy? Happy? It's my body that's doing this. Boom. There are ways, thank you. What I'm trying to say is there's ways of making your techniques work. Everything I'm showing you, there's no secret technique. They're all based on principles. The more you understand the principles, the more you can apply them to whatever situation comes up. That just happens to be one situation. On the right angle hold, most people do it in here. Okay, I happen to have studied Aikido many years ago with one of Tohei's black belts years ago. Tohei doesn't do it this way. Tohei does it this way.
Jesus Christ.
Say ow.
Ow.
Mommy.
You have to do it with the spiders. Now say ow.
Ow.
Okay. Now, all you have to do is hand it off. Now, see how he wants to move behind me? Say ow.
Ow.
Put your elbow up so he can't go backwards. Now he's buoyant.
Ow.
That's called transference. Say transference.
Transference.
Transferring the energy in here. It's another form of transference. He wants to pick that foot up. Pick it up so you feel better.
Sure.
There you go. Now pick it up.
Wow.
These are all forms of control, all using principles, all in techniques you've seen in some way, shape, or form, all applied a little tiny bit differently to make them work, all working with whatever he's given you. That's the way street fights are. You sit there and you do a technique and you practice it 1,000 times in class, and the one time someone attacks you, it doesn't work perfectly, and you go, now what do I do? Beat on the guy. When you're my size, you have to learn to take out big people. And you have to learn these tricks. If you're really big, it's easy just to overpower people until you get somebody who's bigger than you, then what? So I have that advantage over most people. After 50 years of taking people that are this high and this high and this big and dropping them all down to here, it's like academic. Let me show you one other thing. Let me put this on here. This is kind of interesting. Grab my wrist. Grab it tight. Okay, right now my biceps and triceps, which are relatively weak, are working for him. You pretty strong? Yeah, push my hands back down.
Back down?
Sure. Now don't let go of the position. Even if you do, it won't make any difference. Go ahead and grab my wrist. Push them down right where they are. Look where I'm pointing. What I did was I moved my elbows into my body. There's a circle. This is a linear motion, tight. My biceps and triceps are two linear motions. That's why it's not working. Right now he's using my legs. I can drop into a hold here and apply it if I want to. I'm not doing anything I haven't shown you. Here's another circle from a linear motion. He's got my hands here. I go tight. Nothing's happening. I lead with my elbow. It doesn't matter what he does. The size of the circle might change, or the angle of the circle, or the diagonal of the circle, or the ellipse or the egg shape of the circle might change. A circle is a circle, a linear is a linear, a circle versus a linear, linear versus circle. What's the matter with a roundhouse kick and trying to defend it by moving around it? Two circles. They counter each other out. That's why the guy's going around, shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So if a guy's coming a roundhouse kick or attacking, you go straight at him. If he comes straight at you, and you try to go straight at him, he's going to go through you like a freight truck. Step to the side or move around it, it's a little different. They're opposites to some extent, but these are all basic principles. I guess that's about it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.